Let's start.
And of course, we are starting now on this the nighttime heat. Welcome to this edition of the program. Today is Tuesday, and of course, Liberia has been, on the edge. Liberia has been going through and experiencing a lot of new developments. And so today, we're going to talk about both of them. We're not going to leave anything out today. And so just make sure to either watch the show online or listen to the radio. We are streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. That's Nighttime Heat, Facebook and YouTube channel. Just tap Nighttime Heat, and of course, going to watch the show online. Besides, we are also streaming live on Prime FM Monrovia, 105.5. Prime FM Monrovia, 105.5. We are also streaming live on that platform. What's up, George is my name. My panelists are coming in gradually, but please, don't just watch the show. Share the live video so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow on what's happening tonight on the program. Kindly share the live video so that those who are your friends, can also follow and also share and enjoy the discussion. It always stormy, very debating. And then tonight, it's going to be more and more interesting. But let me just acquaint you with what is coming up tonight on the program. The chief of protocol, former chief of protocol, to former president George Manuel Weah, a one-time influential Finda Bono. And Finda Bono, when she says, look, you've seen former President George Weah tomorrow, you will surely see President George Weah tomorrow. Finda today was slammed behind bars at the Monrovia Central Prison. She's currently in the beds of the Central Prison. We're going to talk about that. And of course, how did she surface there? We're going to play the video and you're going to watch and going to listen as well. Well, besides, we're going to bring you an interview with a lawyer. We also will have a video of a lawyer. And then Finda herself, she spoke to the media. We're going to play the interview as well so you can hear her. Well, also Samuel Twain, others case has been ordered retried as 15 jurors were today remanded at the Monrovia Central Prison. Amen. I was watching the video and seeing the jurors being taken away, in a vehicle, a bus, transported them to the Central Prison. And I saw the daughter of the former representative, the deceased, what's the name? Tana Poli. Yeah, that old man, I saw the old man's daughter, and she was shouting and with two hands carved, and she was shouting, we're going to play that video. I don't know what she was saying. I worked for my country. We're going to watch the video. Today was so dramatic on Capitol Hill. We're going to talk about that tonight. Another drug bust. Where did the intelligence come from? We're going to show you a couple of videos. When the DA officers and police swamped that building where the drugs were, and we saw men taking them and putting them in the trucks, and we're going to bring you also interview with that's the IG, the Inspector General of the Liberia National Police, Gregory Comer, our good friend and brother. We're going to bring you an interview with him. And if time permits, we're going to do an analysis of the outcome of the just ended 69th ordinary session. A reporter from Sierra Leone, the guy did a very nice piece, and we got a video. We're going to listen to that, and the guy was able to tell us about the outcome of the session, quoting the leaders I attended, including our leader, President Ambassador Joseph Boyka, because he was in the thick of that. also the reporter quoted him. We're going to talk about some of the things that they made mention of in that ordinary section. Well, also, that's still crisis on Capitol Hill regarding the UL administration. Some UL faculty said, well, they're not going to give any recognition and trust and all of that. They cast a vote of no confidence in the leadership. We're going to talk about that. Well, my panelists are all here now tonight, and let me try to welcome them. This time, David came late, and so David cannot be. David is still struggling. He's between. Please send a link to Dave. David is still struggling to get his award. Sometimes you'll come sooner, and sometimes you'll come late. And also the awards between David and Desmond. Desmond,
Desmond with a big, I didn't know who can come in the middle of the show.
Yeah, of course. Desmond, welcome to the program.
David sometimes, he gets affected by inconsistency. Yeah, so I must admit the fact that he sometimes, try to live in a state of punctuality.
Wow.
Yeah, but however, it's great to be on the show. So, many thanks to all of our people who have contributed. By the way, our producer, and many good evening. At this time, to most of our viewers, our followers, it's good to share the show. So, like you said, there are a lot of fascinating, things to talk about. Looking at the recent development about the drug bust, and we're going to look into it. So
okay.
It's great to be back.
All right, thank you, Desmond Williams. We really appreciate your time on the program.
Sabo.
David, welcome. I didn't even call you.
Yeah, no, but after when it's me.
No, not you, not necessarily you.
Okay, no problem. Go
ahead. All right, let me go to Moses Sandy. Moses, welcome to the program.
I don't care you jumping over me.
Colleagues, thank you. It's good to be back. As always, let me say hi to all of my colleagues in studio and our technical crew. It's good to be here. Try to squeeze in a little bit of time today. Thank you.
Okay, Dave, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Saba. I knew you would have still come back to me. Yeah. Before this time, I sent you a WhatsApp message informing you today's my production that would have been very busy and that I will come late or I'll come on time. And you still want to expose me that I've come late. And this is unfair.
All right, I apologize. I take that back.
This is I don't know. There are a lot of big stories today.
Yeah, surely.
Bono in jail, jurors going to jail, drugs, confiscated. We are seeing one of the photos with one of the major suspects.
How do you know that?
Oh, my man.
How do you know? No.
The photos are trending. The photos are trending. You send a photo to the man.
How do you know
send a photo to him.
No. We're not going to
send a photo in the chat room.
We're not going to subject ourselves to the AI.
That AI.
Come to the program. Our legal counsel. Please, please send a link.
Please send a link to the man and just send a picture of Jawia in the picture with one of the major suspects. Just send it in the chat room.
Thank you, Mr. George. And let me say, I'm glad to be here. And let's be candid, gentlemen, we have to be careful with the way we level allegations. These are state actors. We're sitting on the radio.
Yeah, sure.
If you see pictures, sometimes those pictures could be doctor.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes they are actual pictures.
But and David is wrong with that.
Very careful.
No.
You check it up tomorrow.
Because there are also issues. In as much as the labor law has been,
talking about a legal background.
We have to be very, very careful with these things. But however, I'm here so that we can go into the details of some of these things and provide my own legal understanding as to
Thank you. I will have you on this program. You are a legal mind. Any of us are running into a problem. You're going to go there to file a bond. I was hoping that our bond will not reach $8 million. Comrade, let's hear you.
Yeah, again, George Kennedy is here tonight. I want to say,
bring the microphone closer.
I want to tell my panelists, thank you. It's just like when the vice president picture came with another person who is alleged to have been friendly with.
It was not an AI photo.
It was not AI. So when we're doing this thing, we let that remind. And we are here today or tonight.
So who are you responding to?
No, some people say this thing could be
AI. Okay, you said something.
We didn't hear that one. We didn't hear that one that time that it could be AI for the vice
today we're hearing that one.
No, you said some people, so we're not going to respond to that.
I want to say thank you so much. Hey, welcome to us.
Well, gentlemen, listeners and viewers, welcome to the program.
Man, one make pause with me. I'm making pause. I got to make pause with that.
No, I'm not making pause with you. And gentlemen, let me say something. I watch, normally what I do during my leisure time, I connect the live stream and watch the program. It can be very, very interesting, attractive and enjoyable. And then I will listen to the callers, and one of the callers who indicated that sometimes we not organized, cause noise, and so please, gentlemen, moving forward, if our colleague, if your colleague, maybe William or Tower or whoever making a point, kindly allow them, let them learn. You will still differ with them, and you're still differ with them, or you're still string along with them, whatever it is. But gentlemen, let's try to go into our discussion tonight. Like I said, we're going to handle first the Finda Bono's coming Moses. Finda Bono, once influential, very powerful, chief of protocol. When Finda told you will see George Weah tomorrow, you'll see George Weah. Finda today is behind bars. We're going to talk about that tonight on the program. Samuel Tuan and others, their case have been ordered to retract. We sort of be establishing contact with the Solicitor General quickly. Let's try to do so. Another drug bust, and of course, go all into that. Moses, let's hear you quickly so that we can establish contact with the Solicitor General.
Okay, look, I just want to piggyback quickly on what you said. I also watched the repeat of the program, and I was concerned about that. We are professional people. So for people listening to us to tell us how to conduct ourselves, it's very, very disturbing. And I have noticed that sometimes when I call, people forget that I don't watch the repeat of the program. It doesn't have to be about me. When somebody is speaking, out of courtesy for yourself, courtesy for the audience, courtesy for everybody, just keep it quiet. But when you're having side comments, it just makes you to come across as unprofessional, uncool, uncivilized. I think we need to stop that. It doesn't represent us well. When you're online, you are being monitored globally. You're on the radio, people are listening to you. So I would like to add on to what someone said. Okay. Let's try to be professional.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Moses, so you have to go off. Let me try to use my phone to connect with the Solicitor General. Please kindly go off and monitor through your phone. Let me see whether I can connect with the Solicitor General. I did promise I will have established contact with him to hear from him briefly about what happened today in the courtroom. It's very important. Let's try to connect with him quickly. Augustine Faya, he's the Solicitor General. It seems that we are finding it difficult. Let's see what I can use the other connect with him on the line. It's troubling. Let's see what I can connect with him on the line. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat, rated on Prime FM 105.5. We are also streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. And okay, kindly make sure to establish contact with him, and then you can have us. But in the meantime, put that video on regarding Finda Bono when she appeared at the Central Prison. Right.
I'm Councillor Abraham Wade Simpson, counsel for Madam Nora Finda Bono in these proceedings. We're here because of as of the ruling of His Honor Judge Fekar, Madam Bono, upon her own volition, drove to the Central Prison, and upon my knowledge that she was here, I informed the sheriff of the Criminal Code C to proceed here and place her on arrest and subsequently have her detained, consistent with the ruling of the court.
But you also took an exception. Are there remedies available to you to avoid her being incarcerated, though she's here now before the Monrovia Central Prison and said she's willing to be incarcerated? Are there other remedies for you lawyers?
Yes, there are remedies, but we're working on that. And as it is, the judge has given instruction, as per the ruling, that she should be arrested and imprisoned immediately until she posts a bond in the amount of $8 million.
8 million what?
8 million United States dollars.
And the defendant, are you capable of raising such amount, 8 million United States dollars, to post bail?
Well, this matter contains over 50 defendants, thereabout, and a total of $2.3 million bond has already been posted by other defendants, other co-defendants in this case. And so we are wondering why the court is imposing such a huge burden on a single co-defendant, for which she's now ordered to pay 8 million United States dollars. But be that as it may, we'll take advantage of the law and have her released, and subsequently we'll post the necessary bail required by the law to get her freedom.
Do you think, you just said $8 million is so much of an amount on one defendant. Do you think it's intentional that your client should remain incarcerated during the proceedings?
Well, I can't say, but I know the bond is excessive. And it should not be she alone bearing the brunt of the bond that is set by the court. The bond should be underwritten by all of the defendants because they are held jointly. They are not held jointly and severally. They are held jointly. It means that all 50 of them should post the $8 million bond. In the face of $2.3 million already before the court, Madam Phina Bono, my client, should not be under the law allowed to post an $8 million bond alone. So that bond is excessive and it's a violation of her rights, for which we are seeking remedy at law.
All right, we'll get back to you, Counsel. I see Ambassador Dimas Sakimeyaya. Any comments from you, Ambassador? So no comments. We see Madam Bondo here is in tears. She's wearing all white. She has declined to speak because her lawyer is here. But not any legal question, Madam Bondo. Just a personal question, if you can permit her to answer. How do you feel at this moment as a person, someone who once served as Chief of Protocol Executive Mansion, being here before the Monrovia Central Prison? As your lawyer says, sheriffs are en route. How do you feel as a person being here at this moment?
You know, honestly, for some time now, I decided not to talk. But at this point in time, I say all glory belongs to God. All glory belongs to God. I came on my own right before my lawyer could come. And I'm waiting, ready, to God alone be the glory. Thank you.
Thank you. That's Madam Bondo. There are a few words. She's just right here before the Monrovia Central Prison. We have the former superintendent of Grand Jida County, Honorable Kai Fale. He's here, one of her sureties for the second bond that was denied. Honorable Fale, any reason why your property and the entire bond was denied? Do you think your property had any problems?
I think the judge will speak to that because he has everything. The judge will speak to that. As far as concerned, my property was not denied. The judge will speak to that.
I see your eyes red. Is it tears that's coming from your eyes?
Those eyes are red. Just like common stuff like that. It's not red. Just common stuff. I think the judge will speak to that bond issues. To that bond issues. I don't think the bond was justified. But you are very justified that.
All right. So there we have it. Honorable Kai Fale also declining to speak. I think the sheriffs of the court here, Madam Bondo, you can see the rate is in their hands and they are coming. This is Madam Nora Phina Bondo as we speak, affectionately known by her people as Rescue Mother. She's here with only the former, there the rate is being served to her through her lawyers. So folks, this is happening live at the Monrovia Central Prison. Any moment from now, the sheriffs will take Madam Bondo into custody. She is signing exclusive Spoon Network. It's exclusively here. Madam Bondo just signed. As you can see, she is signing as well. So Madam Nora Phina Bondo came here and surrendered herself. Now the sheriffs of the court here, after the judge Usman Fakai of Criminal Court C ordered that she be arrested after the bond was declared defective. So wherever it is you're watching us from, this is happening live. Norafin Abondo, any moment from now, will be committed to the bellies of the Monrovia Central Prison. She came here on her own. Her lawyer then followed, and now she's moving. Folks, Norafin Abondo is now making her way, smiling. As you can see, she's smiling, making her way into the Monrovia Central Prison. Judge Usman Fakai ordered that she be arrested immediately. She's flanked by D. Maxwell Sakemeya, Kai Fale, former superintendent of Grand Jida County, her lawyer, and she is wearing all white. They are knocking on the gate of the Monrovia Central Prison. The sheriffs are here, and they are about to take her. The gate is about to be opened. Her lawyer did say they're working on a new bond, but Finabondo, as you can see, is now being taken. Once these gates are opened, she will be taken into the Monrovia Central Prison on locals. So that the gate has been opened, and Madam Bondo makes her way in to the Monrovia Central Prison. There you have it, folks. Finabondo is in. Her lawyer is trying to make his way in. There you have.
Okay, so gentlemen, that's the entire video. Initially, this whole thing started with Finda posting the first bond. Unfortunately, prosecution challenged in court, and the bond was rejected because of its defects. And then she was asked to file another bond in 72 hours. She did. Again, prosecution challenged the bond. And today, Finda was placed behind bars as a result of the Judge Faircard ruling that she needed to file a bond, a surety bond that will commensurate with violable crimes that were committed. Now, Finda went to prison, and we all know who Finda has been. Finda has been a very powerful individual. Like I said in my intro, if Finda told you you're going to see former President Weah today at 6 o'clock, just be there at the door. But today, Finda is behind bars. Who are those accompanying Finda? We saw only former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Maxwell Kemoya. He was the only one. Let's hear from you.
Including Kat Fale.
Yeah, including Kat Fale. Well, let's hear from you. Finda was placed behind bars today. Prior to that, Finda, tribute at her father's funeral made rounds on social media. And there were some individuals, in fact, who thought because of raining some praises on the president, the deputy speaker, she would have maybe received some preference or some protection. But today we saw the contrary. Let's hear from you.
Well, I will first and foremost begin with the entire situation. From what Finda has expressed, it points to the fact that there is one thing clear from one encounter is the lack of confidence in the justice system. And it is because Finda has her lawyer must have understood the intention of the court before even the final ruling. Therefore, advising his client to go and wait upon receiving the rate. Normally, what we have seen, once the ruling comes from the court, and then your party is being represented, you are safe, you are normally taken to the Monrovia Central Prison. This which, unlike probably people can show instances where, but this is, in my opinion, precedented for the accused, while the case is still being tried, and it is before court, not a final verdict has been, or not a final ruling from the court, as an instruction has been given, but the woman has, she has preempted the intention of better to, thought about the intention of the court and the wisdom of the judge, and she went to wait for the verdict. So that speaks to the fact that there is no confidence. She believes there is no confidence into the justice system.
No, but I think 1 minute.
Yeah,
I think she was home apparently.
She was home, yeah.
Fine. She was not in court. But the fact that the judge ruled that the bond she filed has a defect, as a result, she needed to go to jail until she can, refile another bond. Her lawyer thought it prudent. So they phoned her and said, look, you have to come. So what is wrong with that? How does that link to FINDA questioning the justice system?
So, but there are a lot of instances, right? I just told you, even as that, given the fact of what you explained, there is still a possibility the ruling has not been issued, and there is nothing for her to even know to have thought about the decision of the court if she had confidence in the justice system. You understand? So for even through her lawyer to be told that, look, you got to go to the Monrovia Central Prison because we cannot provide a bond, whatever reason. That is the same issue about what the lawyer said, that he believes that his client is being treated unjustly. The bond being, asked by the court for that to be paid. In fact, it's extraordinary. Why should it be under his client? So there is a same issue about not having confidence in the justice system. It's extraordinary. There have been a specific crime committed, and there have been defendants. All of them have been charged for a particular crime. And these people, some of them have been given exceptional prices in terms of 2.5 million, 3.5 million. Why is only finance being imposed to pay, or 8 million? So that is the issue. So that is everything about what I'm talking about, lack of confidence in the justice system.
Okay, let me hear you. That's your opening comment. Let's hear you, Mr. Tabo.
Yeah. Okay. So, somebody you talk about the role FINDA play in the past government, chief of protocol to President Weah. And she was an authority. Even if anyone that wanted to see George Weah, he did not get her approval, you wouldn't see George Weah. And today she has landed in prison. That tells you that the justice system doesn't discriminate, no matter what your status is. And that happens in the most powerful country, the United States. If anyone, no matter whether you're a minister, you're a member of maybe you can be covered by some laws regarding depending on, but at the end of the day, the law will still hold you, no matter who you are. And that makes the United States great. And similarly, that has been practiced in Liberia. Sima held other positions, a big position in the past government. Now she's held. That means that the law shouldn't discriminate. That's the first thing. And the other thing my brother talked about is it's the legal process, the defense and the prosecution. They debated the bond, and the prosecution succeeded in convincing the court that the bond filed by FINDA and our lawyers did not meet the legal requirements, and therefore were rejected. I understand that the recent bond she filed, I understand it's in the name of her daughter and not her own name. The court has also rejected that the fact that it is not the daughter that has committed the crime, it is female that is accused of committing the crime. If I'm wrong, maybe the family will help because he's the legal luminary here. And so that's on the basis that the court rejected the bond, and that she must file a good bond, a valid bond that can be used to give her freedom. And that's all what the law requires. Where I agree with you is that what her lawyer explained regarding the issue of the amount, concerning the bond. If others are, as a group, were fighting a bond that is less than what is charged FINDA as an individual, I think I see a little bit of sense in the argument, but I don't know how it works.
Okay,
maybe
Mr. Edwin Famula.
So, I will start with this issue that people need to understand how the legal system works. You know, when you come and you want to throw just an open jar for the legal system, say there's no confidence in it, then you don't understand. Because what is happening right now, these are pre-trials formalities. This matter have not even gone to trial. Presenting a bail bond or a surety is a constitutional requirement on our law. That if you are accused and the state believe that maybe there is some risk of you being outside there, maybe you are flight rate, meaning that you can leave the state, you can leave the country at any point in time. The state wants you to present a guarantee that they will hold that just in case you leave the state, because we don't have a country where there is bracelets on your foot and the court is monitoring you. Also, the state don't want to issue or what call near exit republica, meaning that you can leave the state. They can't do that because if they do that, also it could be some level of infringement on your constitutional right. You have not been found guilty yet. You know, so what is happening? These are pre-trial formality. You present the bond, the prosecution come, challenge the bond, you go back and see if you can raise that surety. If that doesn't happen within a time frame, the judge has the authority to ask that you be remanded at the central prison until you can raise that bond. Now, there's something important the lawyer said that we needed to have looked at it. Now, they have another remedy at law. They can go to the Supreme Court and ask that they want a 7th trial, meaning since he said that there were 50 different persons within the trial, they can ask for, you know, separate trial for each person. And then the court now will be able to calculate as to what is the surety that FINDA needs. That has not been done. When you come back and say, now, you know, the judge had made the ruling. What Madam Bono did today, right? I will commend her for that. She shows some level of honesty that she believes in the justice system. She was, like you said, she was not at the court because these are...
No, she was not there.
Doing these preliminary processes, the accused do not have to be there. It is the lawyers that goes to go and argue.
Sure.
When the judge came down with a ruling that the surety has not met the requirement, therefore she should be remanded at the Monrovia Central Prison, her lawyer called her. Instead of you being sitting in your house, the sheriff go and put handcuff on you and they take a picture, drive to the Monrovia Central Prison and wait for us there with Kami. And she listened to her lawyer. She drove there. It means that she has confidence in the system. That even if she goes to jail, once they raise that bond, she will still come out of jail. The issue with Sam Jackson. Sam Jackson went to jail, right? He slept in jail. A bond was filed. And Sam Jackson is outside. So when you come and sit here and make vague allegations to cast doubt on the justice system, then that's not fair.
Okay, let me hold you there. Mr. Kennedy.
Yes, it is not only fair, it tends to undermine our own system that we're fighting for it to be better. I always say FINDA is my auntie, right? Traditionally, she's my auntie. I'm not happy about what is going on with her, you know, but that's the system. We all have to respect the system. Yes, I'm not happy about some of the things that they did in the past, but yes, we all humans. We got human feelings, you know. I'm not going to go to repeat what Mr. Tagbe said and what Mr. Famule said, because we'll just be wasting our time on the show. But actually, what she did today, it was heroic. What she did today, if you see sometimes people go for trial, and you see that sometimes also sentence them for 1 year or 10 years, the judge say, no, I'm giving them suspended sentence, I'm giving them community service.
Yeah.
And you know, it comes from this type of cooperation. FINDA was not hurting her, but she decided to bury her pride to respect the law. She will have sat on, she's a politician, she will have sat on, she'll be called, they carry her. You know, suppose they can make them popular. But she walked to the prison compound, she waited until the sheriff came. She signed. She didn't allow her lawyer to sign for it. She signed for it, sending her to prison. And she walked into the prison compound. For me, it's a very big thing for me. I've learned a lot of things from her today, her courage. I want to tell her legal team, thank you, go and do the legal process. I don't understand. What I don't understand is if there's a surety of 8 million for a group of people, let's say 10 people, why that surety can be divided among all 10 to know how much each person pay. I think that blanket in my mind, I think that blanket goes on everybody.
It goes everybody. Yeah.
If you go too far, you're not going to file for yourself. We're bringing the far the whole 8 million.
Okay.
So that's how
we'll
maybe
come
I
to
think.
that,
Yeah. So
we'll come to that.
yeah,
We'll come
yeah.
to that. Moses, let's hear from you.
Yeah. I also agree with my colleagues that what Finda did today is laudable. To surrender herself, to say, hey, that's it, and comply with the process. But this is the perspective that I would like to come from.
Mm-hmm.
And they may not go down well with some people. You know, when you want to be seen as credible, you have to live by what all the time you hear people say live by example. The UP administration that is trying to hold people accountable, trying to make sure that everyone is in compliance with the laws of the country. Do you think this administration has that moral rectitude? Absolutely not. You have a very corrupt government. Very corrupt. The people who are enforcing the law, they themselves are corrupt. But they are the ones going after people from the CDC. You live in the country, I don't want to go into no historicity here. You live in the country, you know what is happening. This administration lacks that moral rectitude. You can tell me, Sir Moses Sandy is not a good dad. When you don't stay at home, you don't even know whether your kids are eating well. You are no different from Moses Sandy. So the government must take a closer look at itself too. That's my perspective.
Okay, now you threw a very strong challenge, and let me put this question to Mr. Kennedy. You listen to your colleague. Said the government is corrupt. He said it bluntly. And he said, the government doesn't have the moral ground. Although he didn't cite instances, which I thought Moses would have said, look, I'm making my case based on these, or I'm making my argument based on these facts. But do you agree with him, Judge?
I saw you. Most of the time, Moses' perspective and my perspective are the same on many critical issues. Because I don't know where he comes from with his allegations. I know that the FOIA project is going to talk about. I know the issue of the House, the leadership crisis, but he read there when Speaker Mike Johnson coming to power, he ousted another person to come there. But it's not issue in the United States, but it's issue in Liberia. So we are the neophytes that he see that we don't know anything. Anything we see strange to us, we don't know what to do. And that is where Sunan will come with our perspective. I don't want to be sounding like government spokesperson. I'm not the Minister of Information, but I live here. I live in Liberia. I know that right now is a time where laws are being enforced. Law enforcement, the rule of law goes beyond just the ordinary that Mr. Sandy would think. And, I'm not. People throw wild allegations. If you ask them to come prove, they will say that we shan't. He's not prepared to come to Liberia to justify what he's saying. So I will not be there responding to him all the time.
Do you agree? Because
what allegations are not facts, and I just don't want to repeat what Mr. Kennedy just said, because we can go and name things that is happening where in the most civilized country that I may sit. The current sitting president, just a few days, a record came out that he has made over $2 billion by using the American presidency. That's not corruption to Mr. Sandy. He broke down the White House and spending tons, millions of dollars to build the West Wing. Somebody is bidding some stuff here for Mana River, less than $10 million, but his taxes that he paying in the United States, over 400 million are going to be used to build a boardroom. That's not corruption. You know, there is no time in a man's life that you need to deal with issues. You need to deal with issues at every point in time. Nobody stopped the CDC government from prosecuting the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf people after the 12 years of leadership. So because the CDC did not do it to the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf people, Barker government should not do it to the WIA people, the next government shouldn't do it, then what are we saying? We need to start from somewhere. Look, what is happening now? If Mr. Sunday has all the evidence...
But let me hold you there. Let me hold you there. He's
Yeah.
not saying...
He's saying I don't have the moral grounds. Yes.
I don't think he's saying that you can...
No. He's saying they don't have the moral... He's saying they don't have the moral grounds.
The government doesn't have the moral grounds.
So that's what I'm saying.
Right under the government's nose,
yeah,
there are a couple of things happening.
So that's what I'm saying. Let Mr. Sandy and his folks keep the evidence. When our government come to power, they use the evidence to prosecute the Barker people. That's how it is done. It is not because I can sit there and make wild allegations. Are they facts? Are they truth? No.
Okay, let me hold you there. Mr. Wion, let's hear from you. Do you support what your colleague Moses just said, or you differ with him? He said, government doesn't have the moral ground to go after Finday and others.
So, but there is a key contentious issues that most of our colleagues, especially those who have spoken, missing out or intentionally, probably for whatever reason, decide not to speak about it. I don't too sure Moses Sunday is saying in any way that it is wrong to fight corruption. That is not what he is saying, and that is not what I too am not subscribing to. What has been the issue on a contestation as per his argument, or which I sustain, is when you are prosecuting, while it is true it's good to prosecute, fight corruption, enforce the law, when you are doing that, you should not do it only to a particular group of people that can predict an intention that indeed you are up to something political targeting, what could be described as political targeting or witch hunting, whatever it is. But there has a huge political nature, and that is discriminatory. That is wrong. It's unacceptable, given democracy. It shouldn't be. Like, just as the law says, nobody is exempted under the law. The law is blind. The law should be equally blind, be blind to enforce against even people who are in certain positions. So if the argument of Mr. Family, as it implies, that because they keep the evidence, when the next government comes, they must use it against us. So what is the culture are we setting? Or the precedent is we should go after our predecessors, whoever comes, if not go after all, whether we do it or we didn't do it, that one our business. But so about this FOIA project will remain one of the major issues that will stay unaccounted for. With the given contradictions on how the project came to be, and up to now, there has been no information as to the declaration being made that the project is a Mano River Union project. Therefore, all of the countries, in the Mano River Union should be contributing financially. Up to now, we don't know how much each of the countries are contributing.
Let me hold you. Let's hear your version concerning what Moses.
My version, there's ambiguity in Moses' comments.
Ambiguity. What do you mean?
If you say the government is going after seditions, only CDC people, is not going after United Party people. I expected Moses to have named some United Party people who've committed similar crimes that Finday and others have been accused of, but are let go by the government. And then he would have had a solid ground with his argument. But throwing out allegations, throwing out the wild allegations without backing them with some facts or examples. If you say, oh, you're going after CDC people, so which United Party partisan or official in the past and present that have committed similar crimes of this nature, we're talking about Finday and others, that the United Party officials, ex or current, have committed and the government not going after them, then it's a good argument. But in the absence of that, his comments, his analysis ambiguous. Another thing again is that, look, if you say the government doesn't have the moral rectitude, to investigate or go after people who were accused of committing crimes, And, you know, in creating the impression that it's only Liberia this is happening, that governments are going after. You have a president sitting right next to your house in the United States who carry against us and burglarize the White House or wherever. And you re-elected the senior American, but I guess you voted for Trump. I guess most voted for Trump. And Trump is the president of the United States.
No, Moses didn't vote for Trump.
This is a Trump. No, I said I guess.
Okay,
I said I guess. I'm not definitive. I said I guess he voted for Trump. Here's a Trump who I understand even come from a different country and sought nationality in the United States, yet and stay running after.
All right, so let's not go off tangent now.
No,
I'm coming. Yes, come here quickly. Moses, 1 minute.
That is certain time, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, looking at the analogy that the folks are trying to draw, so it is that would not ask the question: what is the culture? Let's agree that these things, assuming over admitted that these things, similarly as they have been happening in Liberia, they are also happening or taking place in the US. Is it good? Even Moses Sunday, who lives in the US, I don't too sure that Moses will say the things that are happening in America, they are all good, and that he will not talk against that. But just as we are condemning them in the US, it is equally applicable that we should condemn them in Liberia. And the more rectitude that he talks about, a lot of them don't want to address is the issue. It is not about the gravity of the crime, or it is not about the specificity of your offense or the particular crime you might have committed to say that, it is about what crime is being committed. So about you and I live in an environment, we are all Liberians, you go steal, and it's condemnable. And for me, probably I will credit money for somebody, God forbid, which I have never done, and I will not want to pay. It is also condemnable. So I'm saying the law should be applied not just in a particular way and not in a particular time for a particular group of people.
Okay, let me hold you there. Yes, Mr. Kennedy, before I come to Moses.
So sometimes this type of debate, I don't understand. If someone makes blanket statement to say that, or to try to imply to the minds of the Liberian people, we say on the radio that this government people corrupt, the government doesn't have the moral to investigate people. Wow. Then that means we don't have a government. It means that we don't have a government. How can you tell me that the LTA boss, his case is in court, right? How can you tell me the man from the Liberian refugee, Triple RRC, his case is in court? Sitting people in this regime, there are about 5 or 6 of them. Even Green Mill Brothers who are LEC, their case is in court. This case is not gone to trial yet. The only case that are up in trial, there are 2 key cases that I know. Number 1, the fire incident at the Capitol.
In the Samuel Twerk.
Number 2, the Samuel Twerk case. You get it? So for people to come alarm in the public ears, and those cases I talk about, they are on the docket. And people were caught here, people were disgraced here. Some people have been suspended and turned over to the LACC. LACC cleared some of them. Okay? Some of them still ongoing investigation. The LACC that was put in that position by the past administration. It's not this. All right? So to come to try to impress the public that this government doesn't have the moral, so they're not prosecuting other people. Then Mr. Kamara from LTA, then we'll withdraw the cases from the court now.
Okay.
That the government got
okay. I want us to look at something very important that the lawyer, Akame Moses, that the lawyer of Finda Bono raised.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that before we transition. Yeah, Moses, let's hear you.
Look, so give me a few seconds, let me push back. Since my colleagues want examples, if the second president of the country will find it difficult to make a definitive statement regarding a specific project, contradicting himself repeatedly, misrepresenting the truth, that's dishonesty. The word corruption, the definition is expansive. It's not limited to money. When you have the sitting president telling you that MRU member countries will contribute to the LOFA project, and in less than 1 month, he comes back and says the project belongs to Liberia. That's dishonesty, that's corruption. When the current Minister of State tells you that he had no clue about that project. And there is the same government are prosecuting people from the CDC, that dishonesty. And let me speak to my brother family and George. This moral equivalency. Oh, you know, it happened in the United States. That is not a debate. There's no society the world over that is perfect. The same problems you have in Liberia.
Take time, someone.
But does that mean that when we're holding people accountable, we should only go after those people and we shouldn't hold ourselves accountable? That's my argument. Until President Baka can muster the courage to tell the people of Liberia how the $10 million invested into that project, where that money came from, the process, until that is made public. He lacks that moral rectitude.
Okay. All right. Let me hold you there.
So, yes.
Moses, let me hold you there. Yes, you can have it quickly.
Let me just respond to Mr. Sandy. Let me say this. Presumption is not guilt. So if you sit in America and presumed that because a project has been done and you don't know where the money comes from. So hey, Chief,
he violating the
you said the same thing just like you violating the same rules will allow you to speak. If you saying that because you don't know the source of the funding, it means that
it's corrupt.
Then I want to doubt your limitations. The reason for that is that you have to look. Let an audit be done on the project and let it be verified that the money that was used for that project was acquired under a corrupt means. Then you have the evidence to go to court and prosecute people. But you don't say, oh, because somebody came and said this and somebody said that's corruption. Mr. Sandy, the courts in Liberia don't go looking for cases.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, go ahead.
What makes one's statement credible?
So credibility is different from corruption. No. Credibility is different.
I come here.
Yeah.
You said because one government official said this, another government official said
credibility
that.
is not corruption.
I'm coming, comrade.
Yes.
What makes let's focus on credibility.
Yeah.
What makes a person a statement not questionable?
Again.
Let me help you.
No.
Because you can't answer that.
No, go ahead.
The case when the person is consistent. Moses is saying since the whole project came up, government officials are being
so inconsistency doesn't mean corruption either.
I'm coming. He's not saying it's corruption.
No, that's what he's saying.
I'm coming. He's saying the fact that the government is yet. The fact that the government is yet. Hey man, comrade. Let's listen to each other now.
No,
he said a corruption.
He said a corruption. Inconsistency doesn't mean corruption.
No, Moses said. Moses said. Yeah, Moses, go ahead.
No, but I didn't learn.
I
was in flight, and then you try to cut me off.
1 minute. Why?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So inconsistency in statement does not mean corruption, because when you go to court, you're not going to produce inconsistency as evidence. You see, what people fail to realize, the court says, in fact, the law says that you should prove beyond a reasonable doubt. So even with the Noah Bono case, where the GSC and others have done,
so why the government could not prove beyond all reasonable doubt?
No, beyond reasonable doubt. No,
beyond reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
When the questions were coming in,
which
so
question?
The government tell us about the source of this funding.
But they're not before the court. They're not before the court.
So let me provide information.
Let me hold you.
Information.
Okay, go ahead.
Because of Mr. Sandy's cry on this radio, I call it completely empty cries. Even the 1% men went and wrote the LACC to investigate that project. LACC announced that they've begun investigation of that project. Mr. Sandy, you can't tell the opposition people say, you go push to investigate this thing. The people went the road, the people investigated it, then you still say that corruption.
All right, let me hold
It's a contradiction for you.
Moses, let's hear you. We'll have to talk about something else quickly.
Let me further elaborate. I told my colleagues I want them to listen keenly. I told my colleagues the definition of the word corruption is expensive, meaning it goes beyond money. It includes what? Malfeasance. When you misrepresent the truth,
We're still on the
you are
internet.
corrupt. When you are noted for lying, you are corrupt. When you are cheating on people, you are corrupt. And this administration is known for that. President Bouakai lied to Liberia twice. Your Minister of Information lied to Liberia twice. Your Minister of Public Works lied to Liberia. Your Press Secretary lied to Liberia. Your current Minister of State lied to Liberia. Can you imagine someone who sits a door away from the office of the president and he tells you, say he doesn't know about the project? What are you talking about?
So that corruption.
Now, okay, Moses, let's hold you there. Moses, let's hold you there. Let's hold you there, Moses. Gentlemen, let's look into, I know we'll have to transition very shortly, but let's go around the table. The issue raised, and we'll begin with you, our legal mind. The issue raised by Finda Bondo's lawyer, that they are almost, I think, about 50 or 50 of them, yes, in that trial. But her bill has been set to 8 million, right?
Yeah.
And he sees it being very excessive. And he believes that that's unfair to Finda. I want to just give us some understanding as to how it works. Does the law work like that, where if, let's assume all of us in this room committed a crime and we're all filed to court, the man in the street would think that all of us would have, if there's any bond, all of us would have contributed to that bond to pay. But no, that's contrary in what we're seeing in the case of Finda Bondo.
What I don't want to believe it from that standpoint. It's a joint trial.
Okay.
And like the lawyer said, it is not a separate trial where you have every party, being tried differently. It's a joint trial. So that's a single bill bond for all of them. However, we don't know the magnitude of Finda's crime. That Port Health may be at the top of it. Maybe we can presume.
Right, let's just 1 minute. Let's just take the Solicitor General quickly. Yeah. Yes. Let's take him quickly. We've been trying to get in touch with him. Mr. Solicitor General, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. I have been in a very difficult talk. I have been having conference talk with some of my friends abroad. I'm available now.
Okay. I know. Thank you very much. And let's say congratulations. You've been working very hard in all of the cases. In fact, we can remember you arraigned Samuel Twain and the others before trial and before the courts, and unfortunately they were adjudged. Fortunately for them, they were adjudged guilty. Again, you saw that it was not quite the verdict was not acceptable by the state, and so the state moved again, to indicate the issue of jury tampering, and as a result of that today, the court ruled in favor of the state. First, let's get your impression. How are you feeling now?
There are still good people in this country. People must say whatever they want to say. We still are good people in this country. I have personal admiration for the 3 jurors who were involved in the act, and their consciences moved them to say, look, this thing can continue like this. We have to report to the court. And they reported the matter to the court, and the court has set the verdict aside to make sure that we have the trial, new trial. That is a victory for the country, a victory for those 3 jurors, and that was very, very good. And I think every other person in this country should emulate their example. This is what the society is looking like. We are reaching now the Renaissance period in this country, the period where people who feel that they are bad and those are the things that they can live on, we have to be put aside. And we have to move forward. We have to move this country forward. It's not an issue of people liking or not liking. We have to move our country forward. We have all the resources. Few people cannot be using the resources of the country and everybody fold their arm and think that's the normal way. No, we have to move forward.
Now,
we talk about jurors. Those are the judges of the fight. So sometimes people blame the court. They blame the court loosely. Judges of the fight determine the factual issue because we take them from the community to come and determine, look, from our observation, the person is guilty, the person is not guilty. When those persons become to be terrible, it should worry the country. It should worry the country.
Now, so Mr. SG, the three jurors coming forth to admit that yes, were tampered with. You want to dismiss it that it was not something planned by the state. It was not some strategy by the state to ask for retrial. You want to dismiss that because that has been in the years of some watchers, political watchers, who thought that the state was able to plan this for the jurors just for Samuel Tuah again to be brought into trial.
Well, I can tell you that wicked people normally cry wolf. Wicked people cry wolf. If we were the one, then it would have been different. It would have been different. It would have been more sophisticated. We did not know where it came from. The people who wrote something, they went to the court, they said, look, what we did under there was wrong. Now, if we were the one, why all of the other people deny? And they were called to deny that they did not do anything. But the modern technology does not lie. The modern technology brought the thing up. Say, look, all of the people that deny, they were the ones that call in, they call out, and people out from out were calling them. And so the judge made that determination based on an empirical evidence. It's not something that people...
SG, as I watched the video, I think we have interruption there. Yes, we have interruption. The internet, SG is not being connected. It seems that it's off. We're trying to see what we can get him back. But you're listening to the Nighttime Heat, rated on Prom FM 105.5. We are streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. We have the Solicitor General. That's the Solicitor General Augustine Fire on the line. We try reconnecting with him. We're hoping that we can go direct this time around to see what we can connect with him quickly on the line. But he has dismissed that jurors coming forth that they were tampered with was not in stage managed by the state. It seems that he's trying to reconnect. Now, gentlemen, I know we'll talk about the issue of Samuel Tuah's case, but the issue that I want us to go into, and you were trying to explain to us what it happens often, or what it doesn't, where the state or the court set a defendant or a suspect born higher than the others.
Yeah. No, I was saying it's actually based on the gravity of the crime, and also looking at.
Okay, I think he's back. I think the SG is back. Let's see what we can get him on the line. Okay, yeah, SG, welcome back.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was saying that we have reached the recognition period in Liberia. There is tendency for many people to blame the court for the act or inaction of those of all who are in the public. And the court is made up in such a way that we go for the juror. Those are the people that decide the issue of fight. Those are the judges of the fight. And if they believe that it does not matter, they will behave in such a way that people who criminalize the country, people who steal from the country, should be let free and go and be laughing. It is now time that they will have to stop laughing.
Okay.
It is now about time that they will start laughing.
Okay. Now, SG, we saw the jurors going to court, and like what you just said, when they were being taken to court, one of the jurors, she was questioned by, I think, wearing red blouse. She was questioned by the reporter that what did you do? And she said, "Well, I'm going to jail because I admitted I'm guilty." And then she was placed in the bus, and so you're just trying to confirm exactly what they did. But so when are they coming out? When do we expect the jurors to be released? Do we know?
This is a serious ending for me.
Yeah, we are hearing you.
Okay, hello, Sabo.
Yeah.
The ruling of the court is very clear. The court said these people should be prosecuted by by the state. They will be prosecuted, and every legal process will be put in place so that they cannot be.
Well, the internet. Yeah, the internet is disturbing us. I really want to know whether they are in jail for 30 days, but this is what we're hearing, or maybe for 2 weeks, or for 1 week, or for a day. No, whether they will be released on bail before, because normally those things happen. Maybe that lawyer could come in and file a bond for them. So we want to see. I want to really hear that from the. But again, you are giving us legal education about the setting of the bill of the bond.
Yes. So that yes, as I was saying, basically it depends on the nature of the crime, right? The courts can decide that based on the nature and the gravity of the crime, what is the surety that you need to come out with. And mind you, it is not the prosecution who's requesting for that surety, it is the court.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely once you cannot come out with that surety or the bond, the court definitely will remand you in prison until you can come up with that surety. Basically, the surety is just there so that
okay, I think the SG is calling back, getting back and forth interruption here. SG, welcome. The phone is again connecting. Yeah, SG, welcome. Okay.
I was saying that, those who are making where they are genuine one, and the thing that is to err is human, and so they talk the truth. But the other people who the technology capture, they make call series of calls to their friends and other things, and so all of those calls were captured. Yet they deny. They deny before the court, no other place, to the court. Now, when you take the oath and deny, you can imagine that kind of person. And so the judge went through, he took more than a week, about 3 weeks, following everything. And the intention of the judge is he was very meticulous. He never wanted anybody to be punished without cause. And so that is the evidence. So they're not going to jail because of any other thing. They're going to jail because of their conduct. And their conduct is very, very, very terrible for the state. Very terrible for the state. We cannot behave in such a way that we undermine our own existence. The resources we have here very abundant. One person should not take all of the resources and use it alone and be dancing around.
Okay. All right, Mr. SG, do we know also when the retrial will commence?
Very soon, very soon. I'm sure by the next 1 or 2 weeks, there will be a assignment issue out.
Okay.
Our judge, a no-nonsense judge, he will issue the issue.
Okay.
And you remember that even myself, the very juror, they allow extended to me.
Yeah.
They accuse me of having been in the jury room. But if I had a friend in the jury room, why you all have all the verdict did not favor me? You see, I have the friend in the jury room. So that was very terrible, and that was a very serious distraction, and that's how the judge ruled. The judge said there is a distraction. You should not accuse the decent man because you think you want to bring him into the mud. That's clear mentality.
Okay. So finally, SG, finally from my end, SG, when the ruling was done today, after a few minutes or an hour, we saw on the Facebook page of Samuel Tuer. He said, "Well, he's not going to submit himself to any legal process anymore, and as far as he's concerned, he's still a free man, and it means that, in fact, he said he has asked his lawyers not to challenge any decision at the Supreme Court. So it means that he may not make himself available. What will happen next if that happens?"
Well, I can tell you what, Samuel Tuer is under tension, but he will never refuse court order. If the court order today that he will appear there tomorrow, he will be there. He will be the first to be there. Samuel Tuer knows the effect of law. and he will never be the one to disobey the law. I'm sure if you notice that he was in Ivory Coast, and because of the effect of law, without delay, he's trying to come to Liberia if he were in the water. And so if the court issue the precept today, tomorrow, that Mr. Ture, you are needed to court to answer to something, it's not the issue, it's not a case that will enter the first judgment against you, you must be in the court. If you refuse to court, I'm sure, in fact, he will not do it, he will not refuse, and he will come.
Okay.
Second is, he will remain law abiding until the case finish. If he say a lawyer should not say anything, well, so help me, oh God.
Okay.
He will be the case to finish soon.
All right, SG, just one question from one of my panelists. One question quickly.
SG, I'm George Kennedy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Today, I listened to the defense lawyer. Even though his client was saying that he would never submit to anything, but he said he was going to go to the Supreme Court. What do you say about that?
Now, you see, there is you know what happening now is that when there is a parable say when you carry your lawyer in, some kind of time we used to have around our area, and the lawyer refused the penal from you, go out, the lawyer refused the penal from you, you might know there is a problem. So in their case, it is a client that now attempting to refuse the penal from the lawyer. So there is a process in the scam, and that is not something that has to comment on. What I can say is that all of them will submit to the legal process until the case is finally concluded. They will be law abiding. They will remain law abiding. If they say they will not be law abiding, the law has a tendency to make you to conform to the provision of the law, to the letter, and nothing else.
Okay. Yeah, as it quickly. My name is Desmond. No, it's great to have you. Good evening. So let me, as part of the argument of the defense lawyer, he said that once the jurors have been, they were brought on the court, there was a specific case, and the case was concluded, the verdict came down, and the court disbound them. Once they are disbounded, and they are retrieved in a community as active citizens, they are no longer under the authority of the court. They cannot be recalled by the very same court for the very same crime on which they were disbounded. Is that legal? Is that applicable under the law, or should this one will be a precedent, first of a kind?
The man is a scholar of law. He's a law professor. I have a lot of respect for him. I can assure you that he had never become lazy in reading Supreme Court opinion. He had read Latin of the Supreme Court opinion that say immediately after the juror disengaged, if their conduct during the trial is in such a way that it disturbs the trial, they can be sent for to make sure that the proper thing is done. So what the judge did is consistent with the law. He knows about it, and there is no way that he can say he has never read a Supreme Court opinion. He is a professor of law, and he also, well read in law. He appeared at the Supreme Court from time to time. He knows those things. But you see, sometimes when the case is tough, people make certain statements. But I think the statement he made is not something that is not the absence of law. There are law, but maybe he will have to research. From now to tomorrow, I think he will change the language.
All right, SG, thank you very much for taking time off the busy schedule.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you people so much.
Okay, all right. That's the Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia. He's Augustine Fire, and of course, he's been on the program tonight. Now, gentlemen, let's try to transition quickly now to another case, another court issue. We saw today the former Minister of Finance and Development Planning, Samuel Ture and others case being ordered retried today, and we saw jurors. We'll talk about the issue of the jurors, but first, let's play the tape concerning the lawyer of Samuel Ture.
George, report, he said that they don't get a verdict of two of the clients
plus the others, and have been set aside. And then he ordered the arrest of all the 15 jurors. What do you have to make of this? I know you took an exception to it.
First of all, I am not yet defending any juror. I am not defending any juror.
Okay.
That's one.
Okay.
I am defending the interest of a president that took oath as a lawyer, ethically, to represent. And that is Samuel Tuer and the other defendants. Okay. We still want to maintain that this ruling has destroyed our entire democracy and our judicial system. There have been nowhere, all the laws that the judge cited, there have been nowhere where after the jurors have been disbanded, I'm not saying where the verdict comes back and they are not disbanded, but where the jurors have come with a verdict and they have been disbanded, meaning the court has no jurisdiction on you and the term of closed court has ended, that judge has no legal authority to call that jury back to question them on allegations of how they voted and why they voted the way they voted. It had never happened in our law, in our system. I challenge any lawyer or any legal practitioner to show that. That's one. Two, the law that we are talking about, the issue that have just unfolded today, this is the first time it happened in our jurisdiction. How? The first time in our country where a verdict have been returned. The jurors have been disbanded and they are going into their communities. And then for the judge to hear an investigation, a complaint after the court have been disbanded and say that he has jurisdiction to return the verdict, to overturn the verdict, they are never happy. The only country that we have copied from that it has happened, that has spoken on that kind of issue, is the American jurisprudence. In our petition is that the American jurisprudence says that if the jury have been disbanded, any attempt to call them back, listen to it, there is a difference between jury returning a verdict that they are not disbanded, they still under the jurisdiction of the court, and the jury returning a verdict where they have been disbanded, like the Samuel Tuer case. The U.S. Supreme Court that we copied from under the doctrine of stare decisis says any attempt to do that, to call the juror back from the community to the court to question them about allegations of jury tampering or misunderstanding or what happened, how they voted, they say it is unconstitutional and legally dangerous. That is why the U.S. Supreme Court.
My name is Christopher Bestman and I report for Ellen TV. At what position do you believe that this court has reached this particular decision?
At what?
I mean, at what position do you believe the court has reached to such decision in this case?
Well, I don't know, because I have taken the issue before the Supreme Court, and what we agreed on when we came back, before we come back, when I filed the first point.
Okay, gentlemen, we can play the entire interview. That's the legal counsel of the former Minister of Finance and Development Planning, Samuel Tuer. So after before we come there, let's just read what we have that Samuel Tuer wrote on his page. Today, Liberian justice and democracy took a gigantic step backwards, but men are prepared to resist this slide into anarchy. No judge, no justice, and no president can ever change my not guilty verdict. It is etched in the history of our country. The kangaroo files had handed down today is just that, a kangaroo ruling. I've instructed my legal team that my legal journey has since ended with my verdict, and I will not submit myself to any Supreme Court process. As such, they will file nothing before the Supreme Court. We have left the law and are now in the full realm of politics. I remain a free man. We'll talk about that later on, gentlemen, but what did you gather? And let's begin with you, Mr. Kennedy. No, not Mr. Edwin Fambola.
I listened to Councillor Fire first. Let me say a very big thank you. Because, lawyers have the tendency of trying to fish in And also what I saw the landed counselor doing today, the professor of law, is also trying to bring some politics in the case. You know, what happened actually? In fact, at one point in time, he tried to bring in the constitutional issue of double jeopardy, the 1986 constitution. But he was smart enough not to go to the end of that particular law that says, except there is manifest necessity, right? So manifest necessity could mean maybe there was a hung verdict, right? So the jury can be disbanded. If there's a hung verdict, the judge can disband that jury and then call for a new trial. In this case, if you want to use double jeopardy, then it means that you can also use manifest necessity in this case, because it is the same people who came down with the verdict that came back and say we were tampered with. And what happened is that it was not the case that was on trial. It was the investigation that was being done by the admittance of the jurors. He said there's been no country where this has happened. There's a case called Rima v. United States, and he actually did not state what the Supreme Court said in that case. It was believed that when this trial was going on, the foreman within that trial, meaning the head of the juror, got compromised. When the verdict came down, the Supreme Court of the United States mandated the lower court to subpoena the jurors, independently investigate them, and if it is believed that they were compromised, they should set aside the verdict and then go for a new trial in order to deter undue prejudice. So these things are there. It is not new. And what happened, it was an admittance. Look, one thing that people do, first of all, Sobor, if you know the gravity of the crime, will you openly admit to a crime? You know you're going to jail. You will be prosecuted for killing. Will you stay and say, yes, I did it, I killed someone, when that case has not even gone to trial? The admittance of one of the jurors today to say, yes, we did it, so we deserve what we do, it cut the case short. So all of that stuff that the landed counselor is doing is just to, politicize the whole issue. At the end of the day, he said he's taking flight to go to the Supreme Court. Yes, he has remedy at law. Once he goes there, those cases will be cited to him, and then definitely it is the Supreme Court that is going to determine that, yes, once the people who are the judge of the facts have admitted that they were compromised, it brings the integrity of that verdict to caution. So therefore, that verdict cannot stand.
Let's hear you. Listen to first counsel.
I'm not a lawyer. I have interest in the profession, but I call what my uncle did today as a legal filibuster. This matter about this juror issue.
You talking about the lawyer for Sametua?
Yeah. I mean, Councillor Arthur Johnson. All right, he's my uncle too. He's a legal filibuster. The truth is, this particular matter about investigating the jurors, he went to the Supreme Court in an attempt to deny that that particular juror investigation should not take place. The Supreme Court ruled
against him,
and said let the judge should go ahead and get the authority to go ahead to carry on the investigation. So if you tell me again, you're going back there, and it's just a matter of delay because the thing speaks for it. A lot of people like to do things to confuse the public, and this thing we need to speak to the public so the public can know what happened. This particular matter to investigate the jurors after some of them said they were tampered with. Honorable 2S lawyer Arthur Johnson, Councillor Arthur Johnson, Dr. Councillor Arthur Johnson went to the Supreme Court and said, "No, what happened before? They should not allow it." The Supreme Court said, "No, we allow it. It's allowed under our laws." And so, George Fekar, go ahead and investigate those people. The investigative report admitted all the files are showing from text messages, money transfer, phone call, the post subpoena, all the mobile companies, everything showing in the court. So now the judge gets out the ruling that was here for acquitting or setting Minister Tuer free. And so look, we're going for retrial in law, the correct trial de novo. That's what I learned, right?
Okay. Now hold it there. Dave, first you listen to the Solicitor General and then also the lawyer of what did you get?
Well, the Solicitor General, I think he did extremely well in his explanation. The first thing is that you asked the question about whether he doesn't think that the jurors were manipulated by the government to have taken the position they've taken, that they were tampered with, admitting that they were tampered with. And his argument was that, and I agree with that argument, if the government had argued with the jurors, then why then only 3 persons? Why did the government only tamper with the 3 persons or manipulated the 3 persons? Why not all the jurors? So out of, I don't know how many there were.
15.
15. Out of 15, 3 admitted. And investigations conducted as far as their calls and text messages are concerned, all have been proven in court that indeed they were tampered with. The 3 persons, I understand one of them said, conscience has not been clear, since the case. But what has been a contentious issue, now I'm understanding it, I've been wondering whether it is not admissible in law that after you've disbanded the jurors, you can call them back. That has been the major contentious issue. That today I've really got an understanding why they were called back.
Okay.
Concerning how they call him,
Mr. Council Arthur
Johnson. Look, the man is a big man. He's a lawyer. He's a teacher. I understand he teaches law, and he has taken a position. He's taken a position of mind you. He has a client to protect. So sometimes when you have a client to protect and you've caught between the scissors, sometimes you say some things that sometimes yourself can regret saying them. So let's watch and see what happens.
Okay, let me hold you there. Mr. Wyong, you listened to the Solicitor General earlier, and then also the lawyer for Samuel Tuer, Arthur Johnson.
Yeah, and I'll begin with the Solicitor, the SG. One of the things he said, which captured keenly, is the fact that he said if there have been any issue probably coming from the state as been state sponsor in terms of jury tampering, they would have done it more sophisticated, in a very more sophisticated way. But one thing that we all know is that jurors, the question of jurors, and especially when it comes to the quarantine, there's some responsibility of the state to the court. But what means?
Okay, let's try to find the video and see what we can play the video when the jurors were being taken to the central prison quickly.
Maybe I can just conclude.
Yes, conclude.
So, but what means the supervision of the court, which is the state?
Moses, I know
that jurors could be tempered without the acquiescence of the state. So if there's a confirmation, if it has been established that indeed juror was tampered with, then the question is, how did it happen? Because the state take responsibility of their safety through the court. Even the state handles a lot in terms of the entire sequestration of the jurors at a given period of time in terms of the court trial. So given all those periods that the people have been under the government protection, how is it possible that on the state protection they will be allowed to be tampered with? So who penetrated? Who aided? These are the questions. So I mean, yes, for me, I support the fact that it needs to be investigated. Once we go to court, everybody will have to present the evidence.
Okay, Moses, let's hear you on this. First, the interview that we conducted with the Solicitor General, and then the interview with the lawyer of Samuel Tuer, Arthur Johnson.
Yeah. Regarding the Solicitor General, all I can tell you is that he came across as somebody boasting, but this was the same Solicitor General that when they went to court and lost, he admitted that they lost. The Minister of Justice also came out publicly and said, hey, justice prevailed. They accepted the outcome of the court ruling. Now let's look at the allegation against the jurors. Jury tampering. Somebody attempted to bribe. Somebody attempted to influence or do anything to undermine the legal process. Like Mr. Williams said, these people were sequestered. They were isolated. They were in an area that was being controlled by the Republic of Liberia. How did this happen? And guess what, Sobo? The 3 jurors that went to the court to complain that they were tampered with, these are the same 3 jurors that voted against Samuel Tuwe. They are the same 3 jurors that voted against Samuel Tuwe. Nine jurors voted for Tuwe, that how come Tuwe won? Not guilty. Those 3 people voted against him. They are the same 3 people that took the time off to go back to the court to say they were tampered with. They heard somebody communicating and all kinds of allegations. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but based on research, my understanding is that a case can be declared a mistrial if in the process of the hearing, when the verdict is returned and the judge determines that there was some attempt to undermine the verdict, there can be a mistrial in that case. But when the jury is disbanded and you tell the people you'll go your separate way, then the issue of jurisdiction comes in. The people are not ordinary citizens. They are back to where they were doing before. How then do you reconvene them after 1 week? This is the argument that Samuel Tuwe's lawyer is making. This is strange. Even in the United States here, I'm not aware of any legal process here in the United States where a jury was disbanded and people go back to the court after 1 week and say, oh, we were tampered with. This is the argument.
All right, that's hold you there, Moses, because I think that question was asked the Solicitor General and he addressed that. Maybe you didn't hear him. Maybe you didn't hear the Solicitor General. But let's play the tape when the jurors were being taken to the central prison.
Handcuffs. The jurors are in handcuffs. The jurors are in handcuffs. As you can see, the first 2 years, these are civil servants. These are civil servants from different ministry and agency. As you can see them, these are civil servants. These are civil servants from different ministry and agency. So, okay.
Let the other people know and for me to jail because I accept that.
Okay, were you taken away? Are you sure? Okay. Were you taken away? Were you taken away? So we still got 2 to 3 others.
I'm still a very young person.
Yes. These are civil servants.
Are you 7-5 with this, sir? Are you 7-5 with this? Are you 7-5?
You guilty? Okay. So you listen?
She has
the jurors when they were, and you heard one of them, and let's hear you quickly.
So just to respond to Mr. Sandy's query, first of all, this investigation did not just listen to what the it did not just listen to what the juror said. The investigation went further, subpoena call laws, subpoena documents from the different mobile phone companies, and there were synergies, there were communications, there were transfer. All of these things were displayed before a judge. You know, when people try to misrepresent the issue, sometimes it becomes difficult. The judge did not rule because 3 persons voted against this person, and the person came back and said XYZ. And I will always say on this radio, the court works with evidence. The court does not work outside the evidence process. Sequencing of witnesses, of jurors is done before the court with the 2 lawyers represented. These jurors are people that live among us. They are ordinary people. They are trial of facts. We may know them as individuals. And now what the government has not done, because it requires civil responsibilities. So to go around to the various government ministries and agencies and bring people from there to serve as jurors during a court term. However, because you are a lawyer, you have access to the court. They know the court officers. They know the sheriff. They know all of these things. Sometimes some of them make their way through to those guys to get a phone or something inside there to be able to talk to those jurors, because no lawyer wants to lose a case. So whatever means that it can, make through to get to those jurors, you always find a way. I don't care how tight the securities are. Most of the lawyers who always want to win the case will always want to make that, that way through. We all sat here. We saw this report against Vanny Sherman.
Yeah, the civil money.
No, not the civil money. The sanction case. There were a lot of things. He used to influence judges or so.
Yeah.
So, and then all of us in this country believe that Councilor Sherman was one of the best lawyers, that he just couldn't lose cases. But hey, behind the scene, there were people there who were watching him and seeing what he was doing.
All right, you made that point.
So those things are not strings in the court.
We'll have to transition quickly, but let's go around the table. Now, I want us to figure out, I read it earlier, the statement made by Samuel Tuer on his Facebook book page. Listening to what I read and what you also read, I'm sure, what message was he trying to send if you really gathered and really read that with comprehension? Let's hear you, Mr. William.
I mean, it was a message of, hopelessness. Frustration.
Hopelessness.
Yeah, hopelessness in a system that you think should protect, and not to target. He was hopeless, and he spoke. You could determine the emotion even from the right job. I said similar thing about Finn Bondo, that when the citizens, when it reached a point in the country, especially when citizens try to subscribe with the believed that there is no remedy in the court, and that is bad for our democracy.
So you see, you say he spoke hopelessly. Yeah. So you think it's right for him to have said, well, I'm not going to submit myself to any court process anymore, and ask his legal team not to take a challenge at the Supreme Court? It
is his opinion, by the way, and what I will not support is the fact that people should disrespect the court order. No. Liberia is a country of law, and we permit law and their citizens. But what he wrote, from what I'm interpreting, is that he wrote hopelessly, frustration, from a man's heart of a system that he claims or he thinks to protect him, but instead it's targeting. So that has been one of the issues. Another important issue that I want us to look at is the fact that he said he will not surrender to the court, but he announced in the interview that they have taken the matter to the Supreme Court.
No, he would take Nadia.
No, he said he has taken the matter to the Supreme Court.
No, they said because the client, he normally instructs his lawyer. So if he can say that I'm not going to follow the case anymore, it means that Samuel Tuer maybe may not follow the case. Let's hear you.
But just to correct him, the case cannot be on trial when the trial has not ended and you go to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, sure.
So it's a whole different process by itself. The trial have to end. No, Chief. No. Listen to me now, Chief. Listen to me. It can be done the same day. When the trial ends, the lawyer has to make an open acceptance in the court to say we're going to take an appeal. It takes 30 days to go through that whole process.
That has to be on the record.
It has to be on the record.
Now,
so you don't just come from court and just walk and do it.
Thank you. Now, what is the message you sent there?
Well, let me say this.
From Samuel Tuer's record.
The message that he's sending, he's trying to be defiant. But like the Solicitor General said, you can't do that. And let's go back to yesterday's statement that he made. He's trying to to bring politics into this whole issue where he said the vice president has instructed the judge to rule against it because he's already sensed where the ruling was going, right? Because once these hearings are going, you know, the lawyers will be there, they will inform you. Sometimes even if you yourself want to go to the court, you can be there, you know. So he already sensed where that ruling was going. So today, he was actually trying to be defiant, but that's not even good for he himself. If you believe that you are innocent, the judge has now set the verdict aside and say, okay, we'll go into the case. We'll do trial de novo. The best that you can do, if you know that the juror were not tempered with, even if the case go to trial 10 times, you should be confident that you win the case 10 times. So why are you now saying that, oh, I will not submit myself? In fact, I will ask my legal team not to do X, Y, Z or so. I think Honorable Tue, who served this country as a minister, should submit himself to the legal process.
At all times.
At all times.
All right, let's hear you, Mr. Kennedy.
Not
The
only,
message.
not only at all times, but any and all times. The truth is that the minister spoke all of frustration. I saw a little deviation from his statement yesterday and that of today. Today, he didn't say the vice president. Yesterday, he was very confident that he was the vice president. Today, he went defiant, ballistic. He said, look, if I will not submit to any more process. Let me say this, nobody is above the law.
You think he said it out of frustration?
Well,
because
it could be all of conviction, it could be all of frustration.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
Because maybe he believes and he thinks that you know, it's no longer the issue of law anymore, but the issue of politics. So you think he's frustrated?
So I don't think so. That he would think there is no more of law, because he knows what role he played. Because the verdict of the how to call it, the jurors is out. So he actually bribed them.
Okay.
It's proving.
All right.
You want to come in over here?
Yes.
I already learned it. He actually bribed them. It's proving now in court that he really tempered with. What I expected the judge was those who did it, those who were involved in sending those messages, that what I was expecting to come already, those who were involved in transmitting those messages and other things, they should be dealt with. Is the judge trying to hide that? To do what?
Maybe they'll go for trial.
No. Because it's a criminal matter now, it has to go for trial. They still have to go for trial. Of course, that's forgery.
They'll go for trial. Dave, let's hear you. Okay, you were out. Moses, let's hear you concerning the message sent by Samuel Tue. What do you think Samuel Tue wrote the way he wrote, that he will not submit himself to any legal process?
Let me just share my perspective from two angles. I'll be speaking as a media person, and I'll also be speaking as someone who is in mental health. You know, Mr. William made mention of a word which is very powerful. He said the minister came across as hopeless. He's absolutely right. The guy has gotten to the point where he says to himself, there's nothing I can do about this. I am powerless. This is now beyond my scope. The system is stacked up against me. And he resigned unto himself. That's what happened when people deal with loss and grief. When people deal with loss and grief, people go through stages. The first stage is what? Denial. Samuel Tue just couldn't believe that former Minister of Finance will be prosecuted for this. He just couldn't believe it. So he went beyond the denial stage, and then he got to the point of what? Anger. I'm in court. Because of we administration, I did this. Then after that, he went to the next phase where he started asking himself what he could have done to prevent the current situation. And then he dropped to depression. The financial burden, the social isolation, his name being out there and all of that. And now he has gotten to the point of what? Acceptance. Where he has realized that I am going against a system that is stuck up against me. Whether we like it or not, that's the reality. First thing, when Tua won the case, you heard people from the Buck administration say the case was not over. What did it do? In less than a week, they went to the tax force to go after him in a $20 million case. And they try to do everything to ensure that Samuel Tua goes to court, that Samuel Tua is sent to prison. So Tua has gotten to the point of what? Look, this is it. Nothing I can do about it. Whatever they choose to do with me, let them go ahead. He's not being defiant. The man is telling the world that this is political. There's nothing I can do about it. This is the country I find myself in. I resign unto myself. Let the people choose and do whatever they want to do with me. Thank you.
Now, so gentlemen, Moses just gave his
Yes, so
perspective.
let me come in.
Quickly. So we can transition.
So if Moses says that someone is not being defiant, then I'm wondering whether defiance has a different meaning. The fact of the matter is that someone would have said that at no time, as far as concerned, he considers himself a free man. He considers himself a free man, and he will not comply with any court calling. You know, he will not appear in court. He will not submit himself to any Supreme Court. He will not submit to the Supreme Court. He asks a lawyer not to also cooperate. Is that not defiance? So I mean, except Moses want to tell me that the word defiance has a different meaning. The other side of it is, I think Samuel Tua must have made a statement because he was overwhelmed by emotions. And I'd like to borrow the word also from, Wion, that he has become hopeless. There's no hope. As far as concerned, the world is against him. The entire country is against him. The judicial system is against him. No matter what he does, he will not survive it. So out of that frustration, out of that hopelessness, he must have made that statement. But at the end of the day, as the Solicitor General said, at the end of the day, Samuel Tua is an educated person, former official of the government who served as the Minister of Finance. He used to serve as a Minister of Finance for Development Planning. And as educated and experienced he is, I don't think Samuel Tua would deliberately stand against the law. He will show up. You encourage the lawyers to
all right, thank you. We'll have to transition now, gentlemen. Today, yes, we'll have to spend. Oh, and you spoke on that? No, let's transition.
Because it's
that's all. Let's transition.
Is we on the co-host now?
Today, gentlemen, we witnessed what one would describe as a huge drug bust. Let's see some of the videos, looking at where the drugs were picked up from, and then later on the video concerning the police inspector general's interview.
We want to say welcome again to our many viewers. If you are there, we are in Marquette Avenue here. The avenue is Marquette Avenue. You see the reactions of residents in a particular area. You see the reactions of residents. People are sharing.
Oh, okay. All right, well, man. You lucky. You know, your hand, you got a lucky hand.
All compared to it's full bags. Então, se for para esse pancho, se é coco. Yeah, do them concerning anything. Do them on it. PL.
First, I think you all have followed us from the point of seizure till now. So now what we're going to do is to detail it, weigh it, attach the value. Then we'll have a detailed press conference. But this is just what we asked the public over the last few weeks to be patient. Investigation was ongoing. This is the collaborative effort of the strength that comes from the unity of the joint security. We want to say thanks to all of the major players, especially the National Security Agency, the DEA, the police, the EPS, everyone who have played a part in this. To the Liberian people, this is where becoming born. We said that this place was not open for cartel business, and I want to assure each and every one of you that we have the command and control of the cartel in custody, and they will be prosecuted. And people will answer to the law. Thank you. I ask everyone to please leave the fence immediately.
The Inspector General of the Liberia National Police, speaking after the arrest or seizure of the huge quantity of drugs. In fact, we get a report that it may be more than what was the controversial 90 million.
The street value is around close to $200 million.
Can you imagine? So now, gentlemen, the question is Liberia transforming fastly into a narco state? Let's hear you. Because we were talking about 90 million, now we're hearing about over 200 million. What's happening under the rescue administration? Quickly.
So there's a confirmation that indeed Liberia is, obviously for a reason, a narco state. On also administration, which is not my business right now, but it is a confirmation that indeed the country has turned into a drug trafficking zone. Seriously. What is more alarming when I listen to the IG is the fact that naming kudos to the National Joint Security as an exclusive operation. But there have been reports that there has been an intervention of our international partners in terms of the intelligence gathering. But in his first engagement with the press, I think he has something of such. Apparently, maybe my co-partners maybe heard something acknowledging the partnership of the international partners in terms of intelligence gathering. He didn't do so. So I think that was, to some extent, the country we got to acknowledge things when happen truthfully, and that is part of good governance. Yes, it's a new first. We hope that this investigation will take place effectively. And I'm actually with the high expectation that between now to tomorrow, before 10 o'clock, we should have a press release or a press conference from the Liberia National Police.
So we can do the actual value. Now, David, let me hear you, David. Is this troubling, David, especially under an administration that campaigned heavily to rid our country of drugs? Are we turning into a narco state, David?
No, I disagree with that. Had it been the case, the government would have been robustly pursuing those who are involved in trafficking or drugs business. And this is what the government went after everyone. And the agency that is discovering or confiscating the drugs is an agency of government, the LDA. So if the government had a hand in it, the government has every power to shield everything concerning drugs. And the current drugs we're talking about that were found today or discovered, they found near the residence of a former official of government. I'm not saying it's part of it. I am not saying.
Why would you want to link him? No, you are indirectly linking him now.
Current official of government, or senator, Senator.
No, but you indirectly trying to link him.
No, wait now. I'm not linking. Even a commentator in the video.
That's not an issue.
Saba. Even a commentator, the reporter, the journalist, our fellow colleague will listen to who doing the reporting also mentioned that Mangue's Avenue is in a terrain. That doesn't mean that Mangue is implicated until it is proven.
Okay.
No one has accused Mange.
Okay.
And the other thing, yeah.
But the man now.
Why are you
Let me
rushing?
see if I-
Why are you
Okay,
rushing?
okay.
Why are you rushing?
Go ahead.
Why are
Then.
you
No, go
rushing
ahead.
me?
I'll give you 30 seconds.
There is no way somebody wants to turn it into a narco state, but the government is putting a resistance to allow that. And this is what the government has continued to robustly deal with the issues concerning drugs. If you ask some of the drug pushers or drug users, they will tell you, my man, they start to find marijuana hard. They start to find cocaine hard. Because to some extent,
What makes it hard when you see it being discovered in huge quantity? Let me hold you there, man. Comrade, are you worried now? Let me ask you, because I know you are part of the campaign trail around that look, we're going to rid this country of drugs. You're now see one. You're not going to see it when we take over, but we're seeing a lot of bust. Are you worried now?
No, I am highly elated and happy that we're doing drug bust rather than us just allowing it to happen. The mere fact that we're doing drug bust, it shows that the government is working to rid the country of drugs. And let me say this. No drug cartel come to a country in 6 months or 7 months and bring in $100 million worth of drugs. It's a long-term process planning. I can tell you, if you investigate these guys, they've been there for more than 5-6 years. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Looking at that consignment of drugs that was actually picked up today, I can tell you it didn't come by plane. It didn't come by road. Because there was no way you bring that into the country without being detected through these borders.
Okay.
Right? So, and we said it consistently on this radio. Let's give the national security apparatus the time to carry on this investigation. Oh, no. It was too soon. Let the port talk. And I said it here before that where the 19 million came from, it's possible that there's more there. Today, we've seen exactly where the 19 million came from. The corporates are now in custody. So let's wait for them when they go to court to confess who their facilitators are, how did they get to Liberia, when did they get to Liberia. All of those things will be uncovered.
Okay.
But I'm glad that the state has mustered the courage to rid this country out of drugs. And wherever drugs is and whoever is linked to drugs will be picked up and prosecuted.
Josh, let's hear your story.
Thank you. I listened to the police.
I know you are very unhappy.
If
Something that you should campaign about.
If you are looking at the joy in my heart, then you will know that seditions will be very, very unhappy.
John, are you happy?
Because you know why the seditions will be unhappy?
No, we're not talking about CDC yet.
Oh, you said campaign.
No, I'm asking you, George. Are you happy when gradually you turn into a narco state?
Liberia has never been a narco state, and Liberia will never be a narco state. Probably will.
Under the last administration, come in now 1 minute now. Come, let me
you will not let me learn.
No, let me connect you small. Under the last administration, we heard about just 100 million.
$130 million from the Freeport of Monrovia.
Granted, no, I come in now. Comrade.
Yeah.
Under this, 90 million first.
Yeah.
Now your colleague just confirmed
over 200. Could be close to 200.
Could be. Okay, so let me say this to you tonight so you can really know. $100 million was busted at the Freeport. $130 million was busted at the Freeport of Monrovia. The one that went in the houses, nobody saw it.
Which one?
The one that went in those houses at that time, that the $100 million, $130 million was busted at the Freeport, nobody saw it. Now, this particular fight has been taken from house to house, room to room. The impact is very good for this country. Today, and that's anything the police director said in his statement when he said the command and control of cartel is in custody. I don't know what, because when newsmakers are speaking that certain things, are these guys?
What is the interpretation?
Are these guys the commanders, the controllers of the cartel?
Yeah,
you understand? They are what? Colombian and what? Spanish. Colombia is what? Complete narco state. Okay, so journalists, I don't know how many journalists pick that. If I were stay in the Daily Whatever newsroom, I listened to that. That would have been my panel headline story. all right? And I will press the police. I will follow the police through all the investigation.
Okay.
So I'm saying tonight that words are inadequate for me to express the joy that in my heart, that those guys pass those things ready for whatever export. This place is trying to use Liberia as a transnational trade route of draft. It's not like using Liberia. You cannot put 50 million dollars in Liberia, the Liberia finish. Look at our population. So easy route that the people can use based on our geographical location. They want to use to transport their drugs because President Trump is now bumping them in the southern hemisphere. So they're not moving as before. So they try to find different routes, and they see Liberia, they saw Liberia as a weaker area like as it was years ago. But now
okay, let me hold you there. Moses, why do you hold you there? Moses, let's hear from you, Moses. We got 90 million that up to now we are still investigating.
It's in court.
Yes, we know it's in court. The issues can be in court and remain in court endlessly.
It will not be the case.
And we just heard about. Our colleague was just talking about it could be more than 200 million again. Moses, where are we heading? What are we transforming our country into?
I would not want to come across as anyone who hold a view that Liberia has now become a narco state. I don't think our leaders, I may be wrong, but I assume that our leaders are not in the business of drugs. So you become a narco state when drug dealers are in serious business with your top executives and they're running the affairs of the country. And the accessibility becomes very easy. So now, what I can speak to Soba is that, yes, it is true that we welcome the bust, but are we really making impact in terms of investigation? It is good to have the bust to arrest people, but what impact are you making in holding people accountable? Look at the $90 million drug bust. See how sluggish the whole thing looks. Our case is almost dead. I mean, it took lawmakers to educate our director of police on what to do. So today you have another drug bust. And this is where I would like to differ with my brother Kamala.
Moses is going to be very tough talking from there.
Right?
All real.
Moses, still you speak, gentlemen. I'll have to open the last quickly. Moses, go ahead.
So let me just say this, right? I heard Mr. Famula say that, yes, the drugs arrested today also came from the $90 million drug bust. The same place. I'm not quoting you directly, but I'm paraphrasing because I listened to you. You said the investigation is on iPhone a lot, and today's bust is a success of what is happening regarding the $90 million. Mr. Famula, it is difficult to draw that correlation. This could have just been a coincidence. It could have just been a coincidence. We can't draw that correlation. But I can tell you, we welcome the bust, but we want to get to the end of this investigation. That's my concern. Thank you.
Okay, gentlemen, we'll have to take calls. 0778-460-793. Let's take a few calls quickly. Time has called over us. 0778-460-793 or 086-050507. Again, 086-050507 or 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793. That's the number to call and you are live on the program. Let's take the first call on the line quickly. Let's hear you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Moses Wama calling from Broadway.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, for me today, listening to the news, I was very happy because this was really party. Not only a political party this year, but other people are using it as political parties. So most of our brothers and sisters are then also going through a lot on the drug business. The security forces are arresting the drugs. My thing is that these drugs have been here. But they have been trying to live in the way of the security. How things have been registered, that one day, they are trying to start taking it all the time to another error. I tell the government, I tell the security forces will continue our work. Thank you very much.
Okay, many thanks. Let's get another call on the line quickly. Hello? 0778 460 793. That's the number to call. Let's take this call on the line quickly. Let's hear you.
Good evening. This is Aaron B. Passaway. I'm calling from Broadway. Good evening, Uncle Hambule. Let me be frank with you, brother. All what Liberians are looking for, the information can be determined by we, the citizens that live in the communities. I came from Sierra Leone, São Paulo. The beginning of this year, I saw a hedge lit by the car that can be running up and down. I'm married to Sierra Leone. Genema at the crossing on that side. They were rolling substance in there. But what happened? My phone, because my Liberian SIM card was off, and my phone went off on the way between Zimi and that of the border. So when I reached, after I saw it, I even wanted to do recording. But they hastily do that thing quick. And in fact, the car, according to when I crossed the border side, I see the car came from Monrovia without stopping to the custom, and they sing way to Sierra Leone. So when you enter to Sierra Leone, I try to make a way now, so I will do video recording, even call on this side, but it was unfortunate for me to do. So I decided to run on the road to get on motorbike to come to the border and get the information. Before I could get on the road, I had came by me with speed. Never stopped to Sierra Leone side, either Liberia side, and just came to Monrovia. That was the first time. Another time again, I came from Monrovia, Congo when I reached to Tieni, get on the taxi to come to Monrovia. Another one came from Bowater side. I was standing to the checkpoint at Tieni checkpoint. They opened the door and I could see it was tinted, but I was standing because the checkpoint is up. I was looking through it. I never see anything that they're about inside about a lot of cartoons. I even make a comment. I said, but you stop the car and check inside. So no, like everybody inside. And there you go. So right now in Monrovia here, most of the funeral homes, I want to deposit. You know what the reason that criminals always let graveyard because people hardly pass in there. How they call funeral home look at society bush now. Somebody say, oh, like everybody down there, down there. Yeah. My brother, let it be checking this year. Quite recently, about 2 weeks ago, I even called a DEA man to the bridge there, getting the information. I said there's a hedge that just passed it. You're chasing. He said you were to Iron Gate. Oh, later on, I described the head and he told me, say, oh, we'll keep you on maximum right here. So I will call you.
Okay, you made a point. Let's take another call on the line. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. George.
Yes, sir. Let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Sego Ngano. I call from the JMB and JGA Dream for Better Life Foundation.
Okay.
Along with the intellectual people headquartered in Dole community. Saba, first, let me appreciate our National Security and Joint Security Center for this arrest made today. I think we are making progress against the fight against drugs, because when President Joseph Boga said if the past government was going to be re-elected, this one was going to be done, and that's what we see today. That is what we see today. These are some of the things that are going to happen to our country. But thank God, our men are on the alert. They are arresting the people, and we will see to it that this arrest is beyond this country, because I believe strongly that the 100 million that are key in drugs are key into the country before that portion of it that enter that is still under cover that is being taken out of the country, and we arrest all and none of them will leave. Thank you all so much.
All right, man. Sorry, let's get a lot of call on the line. We'll take 3 more and then we'll wrap it up. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Quickly.
My name is Richard Lamu Asamu Wanti. le moji, next point, and I'm going to make here. Jimmy and Strobel, let me use this medium to appreciate you guys for your splendid deliberation and explanation on the show. What I want to say here, you know, I'm a cool man, and the cool people have the parable that says, meaning the drum that will sound is from the beginning, the drummer will know. Now, we as people of this country, we have discovered now that the cartel, I mean, those that were supplying drugs for the past 6 years in this country, now in power, it is improving simultaneously that today we are witnessing over 200 million worth of drugs being collected today. We tell them to speak value. When they say speak value, it means that it might be more than 200 plus million value. So what we are saying to you, honor the UP-led government. Look, we will be consistent, we will be focused, and we will be to the issue. But when we are telling them that after 12 years of UP serving in power, when the CBC came into power, that's the time the drug law, was enacted, making a non-bailable offense. Taking that decision at the 54th National Legislature, that was a demonstration of fighting drugs and menace in our country.
Okay.
So this government declared the issue of drugs as an emergency. But see the way drugs has been treated in this country. See, let me witness the drugs today that every Latino and everybody around.
Okay, please, let's take the last caller. Tom has called for us. Let's take the last caller quickly. Let's hear you.
Good evening, Brother Saba. Good evening to your host.
Yes.
Your team members.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you so much for the topic. And I'm joining you from District 3, Montreal County. My name is Abraham F. Foucault. Let us be real and to the point of politics. In a fight of this drugs issue, it should not be politicized by any other group, be it position or opposition. For the fact that the joint security is making something effort in bringing to book all of those people who are involved, it worth commending. Let us all hold our minds and our hearts together and have those people in prayer, because the fight against drugs is not an easy thing.
Okay.
Serious. Their lives are all at risk. So let us pray that this government keep exposing people so that our country can be free of drugs.
Okay.
Remember, we are all praying for jobs. If investors cannot be safe to come and invest in our country, our jobs will be created.
Okay, many thanks. You made your point. We're not taking additional calls. Gentlemen, let's go around the table quickly. 30 seconds. Let's get your party comment.
So, Mr. Cindy, when I said, Labrador, the evidence of what happened today is, confirm the fact that Labrador is a narco state, and with your definition that you have to get executives being involved. No, it do not necessarily have to be the involvement or the active involvement of executives or senior government officials. A narco state can be described when there is established evidence of huge substance being discovered where it is being used as a transit point. Once a country is being used as a transit point, it means that country is a narco state. It doesn't necessarily have to be the active involvement of government.
Okay, let me hold you there. Let me hold you there.
But let me just
yes, quickly now.
Yeah. So the thing about ranging from the 100 just burst, something million, and now we have this one. It suggests that there's a cartel. With who now seeing the channel, the Colombian, the Spanish, there might be collaborators within pictures.
Okay,
let me
hold you there.
No conspire to some extent and make sure these things are being.
Let me hold you there.
It was a good conversation. And let me say this: when people don't understand how the national security apparatus work and just vaguely say things that they're not supposed to say, I think is disheartening to the national security folks. I've been in that sector before. I know the capacity of the NSA, the DEA, and what training that they have had by our international partners. You can sit there and say the intelligence was given by our international partners, and the police inspector general will not mention the name. That's not true.
Okay.
It was solely done by the national security apparatus, and he named all of them one by one and thanked them.
Okay, your 30 seconds.
Thank you so much. It was a good show. I don't want to hold us in hostage. Mr. RG, thank you. You said the command and control of the cartel is in custody. It is my hope that, yes, this particular cartel will be broken down this time so that that drug will not be used as a transit point for drugs.
Okay, so let me just reference some of our viewers in that all. Ophelia S. George, been watching from home. Phoenicia's Junior Bag, you've also been watching. What? Let's hear you. You come read your plan.
It was indeed a great show. It was a pleasure being here. And quickly, let me just say to my little brother, when you say narco state, it means that the cartels are doing business with public officials to run the operation. That's when it becomes a narco state. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Moses. Abraham V. been watching Hayton William Jerry, been watching Maya Bro. From the USA, been watching. Mark Borrow, Jen, been watching. Jeremiah Wampuna, been watching. Jiba Sando, been watching. Peulusin, been watching from Nigeria. And the rest of you, all of you, join us that's tomorrow for another fascinating edition of the program. Until then, Saba George is my name. Have a blessed time.